What it do, bedtime crew? Hey man, listen, today I'm here to give you guys my immediate reaction, my thoughts, and my early predictions for the two massive fights that, of course, I'm at work and they just casually, Dana White just drops Topuria versus Oliveira and fucking Dricus du Plessis versus Khamzat Chimaev. Bro literally waited till I got in the car, pressed the button, dropped the IG posts. I'm here now to react to both of these huge title fights lined up for International Fight Week, which now is headlined by the vacated lightweight title, Ilia Topuria versus Charles Oliveira, which is fucking insane, dude. Because Islam Makhachev, what the fuck are you doing, bro? He literally said 2 days ago, brother, I'm gonna keep this belt. I'm gonna fight with two. And now he's just vacated it. He's dipped the division. We're never gonna see him fight Ilia or Arman Tsarukyan. He's going up now to welterweight permanently. And it's a little disappointing. I'm gonna be honest. Like, it is a little bit disappointing because I feel like he definitely could have at least fought Ilia Topuria and just shut everybody up and just been like, boom, look at that, dude. And I think that would have removed any sort of like, oh, what about Charles versus Islam 2? What about Arman versus Islam 2? I think if he fought Ilia Topuria, win or lose, which I think he would have won, that would have just crushed every single narrative against it. But now it's always... And the crazy part is, he's going up for a harder fight. Islam's literally moving up for a harder fucking opponent because JDM is bigger. JDM has great takedown defense. JDM can scramble. And I can finally say all this, and I knew this all along, and people can now finally see I was right? But JDM, listen, let me tell you about this kid. JDM can stuff the takedowns. He can piece up Islam. He can rip him to the body like Dustin Poirier was doing. But you know people are going to say he ducked Ilia Topuria. You know that's a narrative that's going to be happening, especially because I think Ilia Topuria is going to win this fight. I love Charles Oliveira. I think that it should be Arman versus Ilia, to be honest. I'm just going to be real. I don't think Charles Oliveira deserves to be fighting for the belt right now. Look at his fucking win-loss ratio in his last 5 fights. Think about the fact that Justin Gaethje is 4-1 in his last 5 and fucking Charles is 3-2 in his last 5. But regardless of that, this is the fight that we're getting. It's a very intriguing matchup. It's very exciting. And I do think Ilia Topuria gets this one done. Now, I do want to give people some hope, bro. Because I'm seeing a lot of IG comments being like, bro, Charles is about to get slimed out. You know, rest in peace, Charles Oliveira, blah, 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 blah. I think Charles Oliveira has a better chance than people are willing to give him credit for. Even though I don't think he deserves this, now he's here. He is actually a pretty hard matchup for Ilia Topuria. The biggest thing that people hold against Charles Oliveira is his chin, dude. They think that he's going to get chinned by Ilia. They think he's going to get dropped and submitted. I think when I look at Charles Oliveira's past 5 fights, he has not been rocked or dropped in like 2 years. Like the Michael Chandler fight, he got rocked with 1 punch in round 5. Even then, it was an eye poke right after that really sent him stumbling back to the cage. Michael Chandler landed some illegal back shots on Charles Oliveira. That was the extent of the damage that he took in that fight. Outside of that, Arman Tsarukyan pieced him up a little bit, but didn't really rock him or drop him or anything like that. Benil Dariush, God rest his soul, got slimed out by Charles Oliveira in like 2 minutes flat. And before that, he fought Islam Makhachev and got dropped. But in that time period, he's had mainly grappling matchups, which I do think going into a fight against Ilia Topuria, his chin will be a lot better than people think. He's just been grappling in these matchups for the most part. He's been scrambling with Arman. You know, obviously he just ragdolled Michael Chandler most of that fight. I think against Ilia Topuria, he's not going to get like flatlined out cold. That's what I'll say nice about Charles Oliveira in this fight. I don't think he gets flatlined out cold. I could see him getting dropped. Like, I could see Ilia Topuria dropping him with like a check hook on the break of a clinch or something like that. This will happen at some point. I will get this right hand or left hook on the break of a clinch. This prediction will happen at some point. But I do think Charles Oliveira could get dropped in this fight, but I don't think Ilia Topuria at 155. I know he fucking beat Jai Herbert, dude. I know some jobber in the comments could be like, he actually KO'd Jai Herbert. I don't think Ilia Topuria's power is going to translate 1-to-1 at 155. I don't think if you go in there against Charles Oliveira or Dustin Poirier or Islam Makhachev, or he probably will KO Gaethje out cold, right? But against these guys, I actually don't think his power is going to translate as much like as it does at 145. or against chinny fuckers like Jai Herbert, dude. I think that Charles Oliveira is a big lightweight. He's going to mix in the wrestling. He's going to clinch Ilia Topuria a lot. I can see him kneeing Ilia Topuria to the body a lot. Max Holloway was doing that. Volkanovski landed some good strikes in the clinch as well. I think that Charles Oliveira is going to clinch up with Ilia. That he's going to land elbows, some knees up close, really try and slow him down. And at range, Oliveira is long and lanky. I think he's going to use like teeps, oblique kicks. He's going to jab a little bit. And I think this fight will go to like a round 3, round 4. I could honestly see this being a decision. I know that people are probably going to be picking like either Charles Oliveira by sub in round 3 or Ilia Topuria by KO inside 2 rounds. I could see Ilia Topuria winning a decision in this fight. Because like I said, dude, Charles Oliveira is big. His chin is probably recovered. His defense has improved a little bit. He's using a lot more wrestling nowadays. The clinch is going to be a big weapon for him. I think Ilia is going to be giving up a little bit of size in this matchup. The one thing I think Ilia has, which is why I think he's going to win this fight, obviously he has a power advantage, but I also think he has a cardio advantage, dude. I think that Ilia Topuria fights so calm and he picks shots really well. He does over swing sometimes, which I think will get him in trouble. But when you look at like the Josh Emmett fight or the Holloway fight, stuff like that, he picks his moments to really like explode with the shots. Pause. Really, really well. Whereas Charles Oliveira, I feel like if he doesn't finish you in the first 2 rounds, you do see him kind of slow down. And for some reason, his hairline starts going back as well. Why in the Chandler and the fucking Arman fight, when bro hits like round 3, his hairline is just completely clapped all of a sudden. Like Charles Oliveira just gasses out. His hairline starts going back, bro. His money starts going, you know what I mean? Like, I think that Ilia Topuria has a fucking cardio advantage. I think he's going to have a chin advantage. I think the power is going to be a big difference. I think he will be able to defend takedowns from Charles Oliveira, you know, shock him off, especially early on when they both kind of, you know, it's a little bit easier for him to get a jittery Charles Oliveira that's worried about the power. And I think as this fight goes on, Charles Oliveira will do well. Like, I think he's going to, like I said, mix up the clinch, land some jabs, some oblique kicks. But I think as this fight goes on, Ilia Topuria is going to time really nice counter shots against Charles Oliveira. He's going to take advantage of the fact that he has zero fucking head movement. I think he's going to rip him up to the body a couple of times. Maybe he drops Charles with like a body shot or a hook or something like that. I could also see a timeline where Ilia Topuria, the clip farming fucking supervillain that this guy is, drops Charles Oliveira, jumps on a sub and taps him out. I could really see him doing some shit like that. But I don't think he's going to cold Charles Oliveira. I actually think that Charles Oliveira's chin has recovered. I think his size is going to be a big factor. And I think that Ilia Topuria's power is not going to translate to 155 against someone that's not coming off a fucking KO loss or a massive weight cut. Shocking, I know. That's the thing about Ilia and Islam right now. That's the last thing I'll say before I talk about Du Plessis versus Chimaev. I'm excited to see Islam fight someone that's not fucking coming from 145 or something like that, dude. And I'm excited for Ilia to fight someone that's not coming off a fucking massive weight cut or KO loss. That, call me crazy. I want to see this guy fight someone that's actually coming off a fucking win. So for me, Ilia Topuria, I do think he wins this matchup, but I don't think it will be as easy or as brutal as people think. I think it could be a decision. I think it could be like a late round TKO. Maybe a submission or something like that, round 4 or 5. But I think this is going to be a scrap, dude. I think Charles Oliveira is going to have some very good moments. And maybe show us that Ilia Topuria is not like fucking invincible. That's my opinion on this. So I'm going to say Ilia Topuria does get the win in this fight, but I don't think it's going to be easy for him, okay? As for UFC 390, bro, I didn't say this fight wasn't going to happen, bro. I just said it's going to be delayed, bro. I'm not injured, guys. I don't know. I'm very amused that you guys think I'm injured. What the fuck? How? This is such a random fucking announcement. Why are they fighting in Chicago, bro? I'm not mad. I love this fight. I'm not mad at this, but it's kind of funny to pick. Brother, I go to O Block, brother. Brother, I have to go. I don't give a fuck, brother. I'm going to O Block, brother. They just got these guys fighting in Chicago. I fuck with it, but this is the fight we've been waiting for a long ass time. I thought this was going to get pushed back to like Abu Dhabi in October, but I'm very happy to see this happening in August. I'm assuming that this card was supposed to be Ankalaev versus Pereira. It's kind of interesting to see that fight might be falling apart, but instead we get Dricus Du Plessis defending his belt against Khamzat Chimaev. I fucking love this matchup, dude. You got 2 undefeated fighters in the UFC. I think that this is like an unstoppable force versus an immovable object. I finally said the quote right, guys. But I'm picking Khamzat Chimaev, dude. I know what people are going to say, dude. I know that people are going to be on Dricus via anvil falling on Chimaev, dude. Dricus via painting a cliff on the, painting a tunnel on the wall of the octagon. You know what I mean? These goofy fucking memes or whatever. I actually think this is where the plot armor runs out for Dricus. I think that Chimaev's plot armor is just undefeated, dude. And I think that stylistically as well, I favor Khamzat Chimaev in this fight because the weaknesses that people talk about for him, I just don't see them that clearly, dude. I don't think that he has this massive cardio problem like he's fucking Marlon Moraes or something. Like, people genuinely talk about Chimaev like he's fucking Marlon Moraes for 2 performances, and one of them he went to war with a very bad matchup for himself at welterweight against Gilbert Burns. And by the way, clearly won that fight. Genuinely, I don't know how people scored that for Burns. He nearly got finished multiple times in that fight. Bro was like on jelly legs in round 3, dying up against the fence when Chimaev was beating him up. That was Chimaev striking, not even wrestling, dude. Every time Chimaev wrestles, he completely dominates his opponent. At least for 1 round, he dominates them. Most of the time, he finishes them. If they survive, maybe they do a decent job in round 2. Most of the time, Chimaev gets a second win. He clutches up in round 3. I think that Chimaev's cardio is like a big overplayed factor in this fight. I don't think it's going to be that bad, dude. I think that he changed his team, if I remember correctly. He changed his team. He went back to his original team. He moved countries, moved gyms. He's not fucking around anymore. I think Chimaev's going to win this fight, dude. And the reason that I think that as well, yes, Dricus has plot armor, bro. Yes, he is a Giga Chad, dude. Yes, he is fucking hilarious to watch. It would be funny as fuck to watch Dricus beat this guy. I know that, dude. And I could weirdly see Dricus doing the goofy shit people talk about where he, like, jumps over a takedown. I could see Dricus doing some dumb shit like that. Dricus has good BJJ. He has good offensive grappling. He's really, really good on the feet as well. He's a great striker in the division. Probably the best straight up striker all around based on game planning, power, physicality, all that stuff in the division. He does get tired, but he just pushes through anyways, which is a huge factor. He's got great heart, right? But his last 2 matchups are fucking Israel Adesanya, Sean Strickland, and even fucking Robert Whittaker. Mate, Bobby Knuckles took this guy down. Bobby Knuckles in like 2 minutes took this guy down straight away, put him on his back. He could not control Sean Strickland in the grappling. I think Chimaev would absolutely smoke Sean Strickland. Chimaev did smoke Robert Whittaker, right? Not to mention the fact, you look back at some previous fights from Dricus that have kind of been forgotten because the narrative has changed so much on Dricus that people don't talk about the fact that this guy looked like complete dog shit before he fought Robert Whittaker. He got ragdolled by Derek Brunson early on in their fight. Like, that is the fight that I look at and I go, bro, if you are getting taken down, you're getting put in full mount by Derek fucking Brunson, dude. You are getting ragdolled by Derek Brunson in round 1. Not that long ago. I'm sorry. I think that his takedown defense is pretty unproven in the UFC. We haven't seen him fight a grappler to the level of Khamzat Chimaev. Whereas Chimaev, you could say whatever you want about him, dude. He has fought good competition. Robert Whittaker, completely fucking smoked. Kamaru Usman on short notice. By the way, the thing that pisses me off with this Usman-Chimaev fight, you're not allowed to mention it at all. You're not allowed to bring it up for Khamzat Chimaev, right? People literally will fight for their fucking life to defend Shavkat Rakhmonov and his terrible Mario Batista performance against Ian Gary, or his terrible performance against Wonderboy. Oh, dude, he was injured, bro. Dude, Shavkat was injured, bro. He's a fucking beast, dude. Shavkat's a fucking marauder, dude. Kamaru Usman, you have no idea how good Kamaru Usman is. Kamaru Usman's takedown defense was like in the 90s, bro. It was like 90% or some shit like that. He was nearly impossible to take down. Khamzat Chimaev with a broken fucking hand on short notice, right? Complete change of opponents from average jobber middleweight Paulo Costa to one of the greatest fighters in UFC history, right? Impossible to take down. Terrible matchup. Khamzat Chimaev fucking 10-8s him, dude. You're not allowed to mention it because Chimaev did not finish him in 1 round, the greatest welterweight of all time, or one of the greatest, excuse me, not GSP, but one of the greatest welterweights of all time. You're not allowed to mention that. Okay? Same with like Volkan with Islam. You're not allowed to mention that win for Islam, even though it's super impressive still. I think that when you look at Khamzat Chimaev's fighting style, people overplay the cardio. They act like this guy's Marlon Moraes. He's not. He can push a pace. Most of the time he finishes people in round 1. If he doesn't, he does get a second win in round 3. He doesn't gas out bad enough to get finished in round 2. He can keep it standing. He has power on the feet. He's got a nasty jab. He's got a nasty uppercut. He uses kicks. Boom, ducks under for the takedown. I think that in this fight, he's going to take down Dricus du Plessis early on. He's going to take advantage of the fact that Dricus du Plessis usually loses the first round of fights. Like, he usually does not look that good early on. He kind of like builds into a fight and like turns the tides of momentum, which could happen in this fight, right? That's the biggest thing that Dricus has, right? He can really shift momentum. He can be losing. He can be looking like shit. Boom, he shifts momentum. You start to slow down a bit. He starts pushing the pace, doing goofy shit. I think against Chimaev, if you give up round 1, you're probably going to get finished. So I'm going to say that Dricus du Plessis, his takedown defense does not hold up in this fight. I think he can threaten a guillotine or something like that early on. He does have a really nasty guillotine. But I'm going to say that he jumps the ghillie. You know, Chimaev kind of scrambles around with him. It looks like, oh, Dricus might get it. He loses the guillotine. I don't know why I was about to say guillotine. He loses the guillotine. I think he's going to end up on the bottom. And I think that Khamzat Chimaev is going to end up on his back, landing ground and pound shots, either getting a TKO or maybe a rear naked choke late round 1, like very late round 1. I think that Khamzat Chimaev is going to finish Dricus du Plessis, dude. I know that's a bold prediction because Dricus du Plessis does have plot armor. I understand that, but so does Chimaev. And I think his is a little bit more, tested over time. I'm going to say Khamzat Chimaev gets this one done late round 1 by finish. But I'm very excited about these fights. I'm glad we're getting big announcements. I'm looking forward to these fights. Even though I wish it was Ilya versus Islam, I know I'm looking forward to Islam versus JDM. I'm looking forward to the future of Ilya Topuria as lightweight champion versus Paddy Pimblett. That will fucking happen. Okay, dude. The rest of the card got announced as well. We got Pantoja versus Kai Kara France. I mean, come on, dude. We know who's winning that. I'm not even going to waste your time talking about it. Jack Hermanson fucking respawned in. That's fucking sick, dude. He's going to fraud check Gregory Rodriguez. Benil Dariush is going to beat Renato Moicano. Mark my fucking words. But yeah, all in all, not the best international fight week. Like, I definitely think we could have been in a timeline where it was like Jones versus Aspinall or Ilya versus Islam, right? Like, there's definitely fights we could have got that are better than this, but all in all, Ilya versus Oliveira, that's an exciting matchup. It's a high-level matchup. Either way, I think it's exciting for the division. Like, if Ilya wins, we are moving on to like a similar level of skill to Islam Makhachev. If Charles Oliveira wins, it's like a feel-good moment, and then it's kind of like, okay, who's going to beat him for the belt, right? Whereas if Ilya wins, I feel like you genuinely could be like, hold on, could Ilya become the GOAT? Like, if he clears out this division, like he beats, Arman Sarukian and, maybe Justin Gaethje if they fluke him a title shot, or Paddy Pimblett. Now we're talking, right? So for me, I'm looking forward to this. I think that Ilya Topuria is going to get this one done. It's not going to be as easy as some people may think, and I think that Khamzat Chimaev will be finishing Dricus du Plessis, but let me know your opinions in the comments down below. I'm sorry I was a little bit late to this. Like I said, I was at fucking work and they just announced this. So fuck you, Dana. Thank you for these fights, though. Let me know your thoughts down below, guys. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like, subscribe. Go watch today's video that I already dropped as well. If you haven't seen that, go check that out. And yeah, boys, I'll see you in the next video, man. Goodbye.